IMF passes a loan for Pakistan. So on 9th of May 2025, IMF Executive Board approved a disbursement of $1 billion to Pakistan. This $1 billion was part of the Extended Fund Facility, EFF. This EFF was approved in September 2024. And the total support which was approved for Pakistan from IMF in September 2024 was $7 billion. And this $7 billion has to be given in 37 months in various tranches. So one of the tranche has been now disbursed to Pakistan. Is this the first time Pakistan is resorting to loans from IMF? The answer is no. But here in this topic, you will see certain, I would say, disturbing facts about Pakistan. Total amount disbursed so far to Pakistan out of this 7 billion is $2.1 billion. Additionally, the IMF approved a $1.4 billion loan under Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF, to support Pakistan's climate and disaster resilience efforts. See, it is a fact that climate change and global warming is impacting the lives of the people, is impacting economic development as well. Like if a heat wave comes, then it can destroy crops. Floods come, it can destroy crops, and both these disasters which I mentioned can be linked to climate change, global warming. So for a struggling country, economic recovery will be very difficult. For a struggling country, economic recovery will be very difficult due to the impact of global warming or climate change, and that is why IMF has come in support of the countries which are struggling, and it has formed or created this new fund, that is Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF. And the RSF is giving $1.4 billion to Pakistan because Pakistan is highlighting scarcity of water, drought-like conditions, or at times excessive flooding also happens in Pakistan, and all can be linked to global warming or climate change. So IMF's Extended Fund Facility first. Objective is to support countries facing medium-term balance of payment problems. Balance of payment means you don't have much money in your forex, but your import bills are high and you have to pay those import bills. Your imports are more as compared to your exports. And as a result, your forex is dwindling. It is not there up to the mark. And this balance of payment problems is caused by structural economic weaknesses. There are structural economic weaknesses in your economy which causes these problems. Key features: it is a loan, not a grant or financial aid. Offers longer repayment terms and extended engagement to allow time for structural reforms. Targets issues like fiscal imbalances, poor infrastructure, underdeveloped banking system, weak governance, and low tax base. All these are targeted. Repayment terms typically includes a 4.5-year grace period. Repayment period up to 10 years. Linked to strict reform conditionalities and performance reviews. So, IMF's Resilience and Sustainability Fund provides long-term concessional loans to countries facing structural vulnerabilities. It supports reforms to address BOP risks, balance of payment risks from climate change, pandemic preparedness, and structural shocks. So this Resilience and Sustainability Fund is all about this. Eligibility: PRGT eligible low income countries. So this PRGT here stands for Poverty Reduction and Growth Trust. Poverty reduction. So those countries in which poverty is there, they are working for poverty reduction and they are showing a bit of growth. Okay. But these are low income countries. So they are eligible for such kind of funds, that is Resilience and Sustainability Fund. Vulnerable small states where population is less than 1.5 million. Middle income countries with gross national income per capita less than 10 times the 2021 IDA threshold. disbursement. Each reform-linked measure must be completed for tranche release. So, you promise certain reforms, structural reforms in your economy, and those structural reforms are aimed at making your economy resilient from climate shocks. You have initiated those reforms, then you will be eligible for those funds from RSF. I'm not saying that you have done those reforms and the outcome of those reforms is also visible, because outcome takes time. But you have initiated those reforms. You are waiting for the outcome. Outcome will take time. Then IMF will see, अच्छा reforms कर दिए हैं, दे देते हैं इसको. And Pakistan has been undergoing economic reforms lately. That is why $1.4 billion as part of RSF. Now, this big question was there among many, that why Pakistan qualifies for the EFF, Extended Fund Facility. There is structural weaknesses, economic stagnation. 2023 GDP was $338 billion, lower than the 2017 GDP. Just imagine. There is high amount of inflation. 2020, 10%, 10.7%, 2021, 8.9%, 2022, 12.2%, 2023, 29.1%. Just imagine 29.1% inflation you are living in. In India, the inflation range is 2 to 6% as fixed by RBI in 2016. And since 2016 till now, there has been only 1 year, that is 2022, when the Russia-Ukraine war was there, that India was not able to maintain inflation in this range of 2 to 6%. It was somewhere around 7% for 3 consecutive quarters in 2022. But after that, it came back into this range of 2 to 6%. Currently, it is somewhere hovering around 5%. Just imagine, more than 20%. 2024, 23.4%. Means this month you are buying any product for 100 rupees. Next month it will be costing you 123 rupees. Next month, further, it will be costing you more, around 150 rupees. This was the rate of inflation, or this is the rate of inflation, I would say, in Pakistan. Significant depreciation of purchasing power from 2019 to 2024, and this purchasing power has reduced because of the rising inflation. When inflation rises, your focus is only and only on the basic necessities. वो पूरी हो जाए, वही बहुत है. You will not go for luxury amenities and such like. So the purchasing power is crippled, and that is crippled due to inflation. Now, other economic challenges which Pakistan is facing: persistent current account and fiscal deficits. Current account deficits, more imports as compared to exports. Fiscal deficits, more expenditure as compared to income. Low savings and investment rates are there. कहाँ से करोगे investment? Because you're not able to save money due to inflation. High population growth because of less awareness or low levels of education, and they want to produce more and more children. They believe that these more and more children will make them a powerful country and make them compete with India as well. With low female labor force participation, there is a lot of, I would say, patriarchy dominated society it is. Heavy military expenditure relative to health, education and infrastructure. This is so disturbing. It is more than health, education and infrastructure. Weak tax to GDP ratio means taxation collection is not up to the mark. Agriculture and real estate remain largely untaxed. But now Pakistan has undertaken certain reforms. External debt dependency of Pakistan. Pakistan has borrowed extensively from IMF. Now see, 28 loans in 35 years. As I said that this is not the first time it is taking a loan from IMF. So 28 loans in 35 years it has taken. China-Pakistan economic corridor. Around 40% of Pakistan's overall debt, or 50%, I'm not aware about the statistics exactly, but a substantial chunk of Pakistan's overall debt, Pakistan owes it to China. UAE, Saudi Arabia are also there in the line. Second is Saudi Arabia. Asian Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, Paris Club and other multilateral institutions from where it has taken this debt from. Now again, this question that why did IMF approve the latest tranche despite reservations expressed by India, and still that tranche was disbursed or announced to be disbursed. The reduction in government borrowing, economic reforms and progress which Pakistan has been undertaking and undergoing, there has been a reduction in government borrowing. Inflation control dropped to 0.3% in April 2025. The inflation was less by 0.3% in April 2025. Improved foreign exchange reserves, enabling interest rate cuts. Execution of FY 2025 budget aimed at fiscal consolidation means reducing the fiscal budget. Introduction of agricultural income tax, a long pending structural reform in Pakistan's economy. And next is measures to increase tax revenues and enhance public sector efficiency. This will, help us reduce the fiscal deficit, help us improve the tax to GDP ratio. This will help improve productivity, employment generation, as well as contribution to the public coffers, thereby reducing fiscal deficit. IMF's official statement. IMF noted that Pakistan's progress in stabilizing the economy despite global challenges is there. Although minimal progress, but yes, progress is witnessed. And as I said that these funds are disbursed when IMF gets assured that reforms are done, structural reforms are done, and these reforms are moving in or have started moving in the right direction. So Pakistan has done these reforms, and we can say that they started moving in the right direction because there have been results. Although minimal results, like inflation has been dropped by 0.3%, their forex reserves have improved a bit or have shown a bit of improvement. The agricultural domain has been taxed. The budget is aiming at fiscal consolidation in the times to come, thereby reducing fiscal deficit. The public sector undertakings of Pakistan, they are aiming at increasing efficiency and all. So all these things or all these reforms are being undertaken in Pakistan, which have started to show minimal results, and this is what IMF has said in its official statement. Cited improved policy making credibility and increased confidence among the investors. Highlighted Pakistan's commitment to macroeconomic discipline and structural adjustments, which Pakistan has done. So all these things have been highlighted. India's response and abstention. So India abstained from voting. Why abstained? Abstained means no vote. India did not vote. Why? Because formal no vote not permitted. India abstained from the vote, which registers dissent under IMF rules. Emphasize the need for adherence to technical and procedural norms. So we said that there is need to for adherence to technical and procedural norms that should be undertaken. India's key objections: prolonged dependency and poor track record of Pakistan. Pakistan has received IMF assistance 28 times in the last 35 years. Still, what is the need for so many times Pakistan going to IMF? Means Pakistan is not doing something seriously right. This is not a guarantee that what you are seeing right this time is actually right, first of all. And in the longer run, Pakistan will not be coming to you again because you see the previous track record. 4 separate programs in the last 5 years alone, Pakistan has taken help from IMF. And poor record of implementing reforms leading to repeated bailouts. So they initiate reforms, they make the policies, but when it comes to the implementation of those reforms over the period, that is weak, due to which Pakistan turns towards IMF time and again, and it has turned towards IMF so many times in the last 28 years. Debt sustainability concerns. Frequent bailouts with systemic reforms raise risk of debt distress in Pakistan. Has Pakistan fallen into a debt, I would say, vortex or kind of a debt trap? Pakistan's risks becoming a too big to fail borrower, increasing the IMF's long-term exposure. Military dominance and economic mismanagement. We know that very well. Military spending is more than healthcare, education and all. The concerns about Pakistani military's disproportionate influence in civilian economic affairs. That is also a concern. Alleged lack of transparency and fiscal discipline undermining reform credibility. Use of funds and terrorism. India strongly objected to providing funds to a country involved in state-sponsored cross-border terrorism. That was also our major concern, कि भाई Pakistan will be using these funds for funding terrorism because Pakistan indulges in state-sponsored terrorism. This is what we also highlighted over there. But it was not paid attention to. Geopolitical and institutional context. So IMF governance and voting, how it happens. The executive board which voted for this consists of 25 directors representing countries or country groups. Voting power is based on the size of the economy. It is not like one person or one country block has one vote. There are 25 votes in total. The vote strength depends on the size of the economy. Country's economic size, that is what the quota is. Not one country, one vote. It is not like this. Decisions are typically made by consensus. In rare formal votes, वैसे तो voting नहीं, it does not happen. Generally, these 25 people discuss among themselves and they say, हाँ चलो भाई दे दो. So that is considered as by consensus it is being given. But here, since India was raising objections, so that was a very rare instance where formal votes were polled. In rare formal votes, members can vote in favor or abstain. They can vote in favor or abstain. No provisions to vote against is there. Voting against is not there, but you can abstain or you can vote in favor. India's broader concerns urge the IMF support must be linked to effective implementation of structural reforms. That should be done. Suggested increased monitoring of fund utilization, especially in countries with governance concerns. Emphasize the need to balance economic objectives with security and accountability. All this has to be taken into consideration. Implications for Pakistan. Positive outcomes. Boost short-term liquidity and foreign exchange stability for Pakistan. Enhances credibility with international donors and credit rating agencies. Offers an opportunity to address long-standing structural problems. So, this has to be taken into account. Associated risks. Potential for social unrest due to austerity measures. That can happen. High risk of debt spiral if reforms are reversed or poorly implemented. And failure to sustain reforms could harm Pakistan's creditworthiness. And I don't think so Pakistan is worried about it as such. But yes, it can happen. So this was all about, Pakistan being granted that loan from IMF.